Welcome, everyone, to an adventure into comedy. Today, I am joined by the intrepid David Ellis and the intrepid Monty Dean. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Come on into the chat room. Get everyone down there. Hit the share button. Tell everyone to come on in, as we are going to be doing this show every other Friday to take the piss out of COVID-19, to take the stick out of those that are so serious that every conspiracy theory is real. From now, for the next 2 hours, we intend to offend. So if you offend easily, please leave the show.
Or stay. It could be a spiritual thing.
Well, guys, let's begin our offensive process.
Absolutely.
Who wants to begin the journey of offending COVID-19?
Well, I could start. I'll quickly just say Happy Bunny Day to everybody. Today is, I think, when your deity was nailed to a tree. That's how to start religion. Hey, apparently God works in mysterious ways, explains Rachel Griffin. But tonight's show is brought to you by Will You Be My Quarantine? Will You Be My Quarantine is a geosocial network, an online dating app that allows the users to swipe, like or dislike with other profiles based on their photos, a small bio, and common interests. Once two users are matched, they can exchange messages. And if they hit it off, they can meet for a date and spend 2 weeks in isolation because of breaking social distancing and lockdown laws, and will be confined together in an undisclosed location, which will include psychological trauma-inducing programs such as waterboarding, electroshock therapy, and name-calling. So choose
You forgot
wisely.
one thing.
Yes.
Free N95 GIMP suits.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They come in the shape of a FEMA coffin. If you don't want to be in prison for a fortnight with a complete stranger, then try Simps and Thoughts dating app, or STD for short. STD will connect you with a beautiful young woman who has mental illness and daddy issues, and so she takes selfies of herself in lingerie so you can give her money. Via tokens and tipping, become the white knight she pretends to yearn for. There is also a monthly payment, which is very difficult to opt out of. It's the only STD you need to empty your bank account. Andrew.
Thank you so much for that offensive material. David, what is your journey into the first offense?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Quantum Wipes, for giving us the sponsorship to do this show. Quantum Wipes start the new millennia on a very, very, very clean slate.
Okay, Quantum Wipes, it's rough. Quantum Wipes, it's rough and it's tough and it takes no shit from no one.
Yep. So here we are in lockdown, where everyone must spend time with their family and themselves. This is the worst thing that could have happened. People are actually running outside just to get it, right? Just to get out COVID-19, because anything is more preferable than being indoors, right? A whole bunch of people are breaking that order. They can't take it anymore. You gotta spend time with your wife. You gotta look at that face for hours and hours and hours, right? People are just actually running outside. So like we've had in Canada, if you're seeing the statistics, a whole bunch of people are being ticketed all over the place. They can't handle it anymore. And I'm probably wondering, two groups of people that will be mostly affected by this. White lighters, the esoteric types, and the conspiracy theorists. Why do they want us at home? Why do they want us at home? Can you imagine what life is like as a conspiracy theorist? Let's think about that for a while.
Audience, it's not a far thing for our audience. Many of them, their husband's a conspiracy theorist and their wife's a white lighter.
Oh Christ! Oh my God! How do they have sex?
They don't.
Which causes frustration.
Conspiracy theorist and a wife to have sex. Let me bathe you in white light. Why do you want to bathe me in white light?
Well, they have to be 6 feet apart. And now I know I'm impressive, but I'm not that impressive. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine what that marriage must be like? That's hilarious. Really, you could. The wife is going to be like trying to bathe him in white light from afar, and he's going to be like, "I don't trust you. But you're part of the system."
I need to get 3 independent sources to clarify what you just said. It also, as well, with the the thought keeps popping in and out, so it'll come back to me again. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there is a conspiracy that the internet's going to go down for either 3 days, 3 days of darkness, or 10 days. And from what you just explained, I don't see that happening at all. Because if that does, everyone's going to go, great, now I can't be distracted from my only family members or housemates. I'm going to go outside and revolution and start a revolution.
So the conspiracy theorist saying it's the 3 days of darkness and the white light is we get to go outside. And then they go outside and nobody has phones. Nobody has nothing. It's got to be a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All that electromagnetic soup.
That isn't there because the internet's down.
Yeah,
if you guys are listening to us on Facebook or YouTube and want to join the chat room here, it's Zoom. Robert is going to put up the information for you to how to join and leave it on the screen for a little bit. Go right over there. Click on zoom.us.
Okay,
and Robert, it doesn't give the full, it's the starting shortly screen, Robert.
Yeah. And also the other screen, Australia isn't spelt that way. I noticed that last show. It was like, what? There's supposed to be 3 A's. Yeah, there's 3 A's.
Keep it in mind that Robert is in Colombia, so it might be spelled that way in Colombia.
Yes. So I want to talk about the awoken people. Now, I've come up with something that's called the 5 different levels of wokeness. The first level is woke with a capital W. The second is awoken. The third is awoke. The fourth is awake. And the fifth is awakened. And now I'm going to present what the woke, first level of woke person is. This newly woke person uses social media to say to everyone that they are woke. Oftentimes, they rapidly jump to awoken status when they learn they are a decade behind altogether all the other awoke people posting on social media. Oftentimes falls victim to the escalation of desperation of any media platform like Flat Earth, Nasera, 5G, listens to fake news, looking for validation of conspiracy theories, does not realize inner work is a subject they have to do on their own. Now, how many people do we know that are just in that woke stage?
I was
you
just
mean the
about
Facebook
to say.
memers?
Yes.
You know the Facebook memers. They post something online, right? They get it from somewhere else. Usually the sources are wrong. It's actually a source of great amusement, right? So somebody creates this little meme thing saying, "Oh, you know, I have a few of them on my phone actually," right? Right? They create this Facebook meme, and it says, "I have changed my life, and I'm now a member of this fifth world of peace." What the fuck does that mean? If you put it on Facebook, that doesn't mean that you're woke, right? It doesn't mean that anything. It means that you can copy and paste. That's what it means. It's share. That's it, right? But it's actually kind of funny when it is that I see the stuff, right? And then you get this litany of comments underneath for people supporting them. We're with you, sister. We support your journey. And it's like, it's not, that is not how you become awake. Facebook memers, oh my God.
And from a comedic point of view, it's very hard because satire and parody is blending into reality. Whereas like you read something from, say, on a tweet from somebody and you look at it going, is this a parody account or do they mean it?
No, usually they mean it. Usually they mean it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like satire. It's like college grade level now. You have to get through. You have to blow it out into fast to try and get to like so people
Monty, I've been teaching yoga. I've been in yoga since I was 13 years old. Back then, we had like little bath towels and little mats that we used to do yoga on. I never thought I'd ever live to see the day when it came down to Lululemon pants and rolled up little yoga bags. I never thought that, right? And these are the kind of people that have become like, oh my God, I'm so enlightened. I just don't know what to do with myself. Okay,
David, that is why the newly woken person believes yoga is a clothing line, and they do not know Photoshop can make false pictures.
Yeah.
Well,
Correct.
that's one of our sponsors is the Yoda yoga pants, and one of the slogans is there's three things that tell the truth: drunk people, little children, and yoga pants.
Correct.
Now,
I hate to take a swipe at Lululemon people. A friend of mine calls them Lululemons. Okay,
yes,
because these Lululemons, right? Because all they do is take the kids to soccer, go to yoga class, and then have a little bit of a cry. And really and truly, it's like, well, your pants doesn't make the spiritual person, does it? The clothes do not make the man.
Unfortunately, in our world, clothes do make the woman. So if you want to come and join the Zoom room and be a part of the chat room here, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, on the screen right now, the meeting ID is 911-001-1974. And we might be taking calls from people. So if you want to come from Facebook or YouTube, come on into the Zoom room. So I want to talk about the next level, the awoken person. This special form of wokeness is the serial abuser of social media to prove to the world they are in awakened status. But in fact, they do know inner work and believe posting on social media is inner work. They use all capital letters to grab attention to their awakened ideologies they don't fully believe in. They're addicted to YouTube videos and get 2 to 3 YouTube PhDs in any subject matter per month. They claim they are researchers to validate their addictive habits. This is the first stage of becoming a hermit. They don't want to be a sleeper agent anymore. Their news addiction goes to new levels of insanity as the consumption of material drives them to Gaia TV. They become serial debaters in chat threads and have 2 or 3 alternate social media avatars so they can attack others who are less awoken than they are. They begin to realize woke people are not all love and light. And they've taken up causes to wake up the world to all the lizard wizards running our flat earth reality from hollow earth spaceships.
I gotta take a swipe here. I gotta take it. I gotta take a swipe here. I have to.
Go ahead.
Now, you and I have had a lot of discussion about women who can't manage their lives becoming leaders for women who can't manage their lives.
Yep.
The blind cannot lead the blind. How many women leaders are there? They organize little groups. Right?
Yep.
And we have had the same. If you go to empower women. But if you can't get your shit together, stay silent.
Right. Stay silent.
Right. So your marriage is falling apart. Your kids hate you. Right. The fucking dog hates you. Right. The dog won't let you feed him. Right. And then you just decide, oh, I just have to love myself and everything will be fine. So I just realized that I love myself. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to become a leader for women who are in the same situation as me. And then we're going to create this Facebook group and we're going to have meetups and then we're going to share brownies, special brownies, and cry a lot about our plight in life. This is what has been happening. It's hilarious. And when you actually speak to this woman, it's like, I'm now an enlightened being. And then the first criticism you make is like, why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking me?
In all capitals, don't forget. Why are you attacking me?
Why are you attacking me? It's like, are you serious? Are you seriously a woman, a leader of women? It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, and then they go on Twitter and basically say it's all the patriarchy's fault because men haven't done anything wonderful on the planet apart from mostly build things with the help of women. And what I find, with that pink pussy hat, which is like, yes, because wearing a clitoris on your head makes you empowered. That's a fascinating way. But what I do like is where you've got your classic Caucasian woman on Twitter defending every other race by not engaging with every other race.
Oh my God. And I'm gonna have to chime in here. So I have a friend. She is into this white lighter. She wears yoga pants all the time. I mean, like everywhere. And she went to Africa with Impact Malawi. You don't.
Yeah.
It's a charity organization. I gotta tell this. And leading up to this thing, she got a whole bunch of toys, and she bought antibiotics and so on. She had special permission to buy antibiotics, and she landed in Africa. And then she decided, I'm going to give these toys out. The people who were on the ground, the Africans told her, don't give any of these toys out. She wouldn't listen. She wouldn't listen. Okay? So the guy who was advising her not to give them out says to her, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Evil bitch that he was. So she gave them out and started a near civil war among these people. Okay?
And those Africans can do a civil war quite well.
They can do a civil war, right? Right? When you have these kinds of ideas in your head that you know what the world is like, it's hilarious to look at them, right? Because they usually start inadvertent shit that they're not ready to handle, right? So what is a feminist really? Let's go into that, please. We're gonna take a swipe at the feminists, please, because this is a show that is meant to offend. And there are 3 men on the show, so it's gonna be offensive. I'm just warning all the women in the chat room right now. We're going to go down that road. So if you need to bail out. So what is a feminist? Tell me, guys.
Well, an angry person.
Well, I'm going to take a swipe here. I'm putting a fist up here. A feminist is a woman who no longer believes they are worthy to be a woman.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And they're gaining it back from the men who took it from them.
Okay. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
What did we take from them? This penis envy thing is getting way out of hand. Go ahead, Monty.
Oh, well, my thing is now I see your feminism and I raise it to a male feminist.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is basically
somebody who can't admit he's gay, but is going to support every woman around so he can date them all.
Or she's not going to sleep with you. That's basically
yeah. But why
she's hot. I go ahead.
Why does it have to come down to a war between the sexes and so on, right? And one of the major fallacies that most people have is that women don't enjoy sex too, and that we're the predators, right? They clearly have not been to Germany. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
I like to. I'll back that up with. I'll back that up with scientific facts. Humanity's been to the mainstream media. Humanity's been around for 700,000 years. I think someone's enjoying the whole fucking bit.
Yep, exactly.
As Bill Hicks said, it's like, why is sex bad? If you look through all the branches of your family tree, there's fucking. To quote Bill.
Correct. Somebody's fucking somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. There's a great anecdote that a grandma was at a family gathering and she started giggling, and one of her granddaughters came over and was like, "Gran, why are you laughing?" I just made the connection that everyone's here because I had sex.
Oh shit. That'll stop a party. That'll stop a party real quick.
I don't think she announced it. It's like, I've got something to say, you grubby little bastards. But, it is true. Like,
yeah, and she probably had a lot of sex too.
All right, so I want to touch on the next level. So we've talked the woke person, the awoken. I'm sorry, the awoken. And now the next level is awoke. Oftentimes, this is a boomer who visits coffee shops where the younger generations gather around their smart technologies, tries to teach them about waking things like 5G will make you sterile. Did you see this UFO video? They're landing next week and you need to buy silver and gold before the market crashes and the Civil War starts. Uses their Gaia account, gives away their Gaia account login to watch a video. They're often the ones at family dinners who will make sure everyone knows the aliens are coming next week. Usually has 3 or 4 cats. When they have to deal with other people of the other generation, become very combative. Use ad hominem attacks as pronouns and adjectives, is forever trying to get anyone to follow their blog, has videos on their phone of political personalities who they claim are shapeshifters, But when you watch the vid, it's just out of focus and clearly photoshopped. Accidentally on purpose text you every day about the new flavor of the month conspiracy theories. Oftentimes doesn't realize some of the things they post are racist or inappropriate. It gets banned from 1 or 2 social media platforms because their friendly debate turns into full-blown attacks, doxing, and cyber gang stalking. They take it very personally when they lose their accounts. Or when they are deplatformed, it's a badge of awakenedness. They often become yoga teachers so they can leave their corporate jobs for their new toxic lifestyle.
Ain't that a shit? Everybody knows someone like that. Everybody in this chat room knows someone like that.
Yep.
Right? AKA the dick.
The dick.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's 80% of my roundtable audience, I think. It's like it's so great trying to bring positivity into a roundtable where apparently it's the serpent line aliens that are controlling everything and they're releasing bioweapons and we're in a cull. Like, well, it could be. No, it's not. This is it and nothing else. And the Earth is flat. Okay, yeah, I like freaking those people out. Like, I don't go into the flat Earth, the sphere angle. I just mention that, like, oh, that's cool. I live in a hologram because it's the universe. It's a placebo universe, and what you see is what you believe, and that really it's out of the paradigm.
I can't believe that this thing is still around. Really, the Earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
It's got its own web. David, it even has its own convention in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think
it had its own convention.
And
look at the look at David's face. It actually had a convention.
So you got how many people attend this convention?
Like
now I'm really
like 600 people paid to attend it.
We are going to the next convention. For sure we are.
And their motto is flat earthers all around the globe. Listen to that. Flat earthers all around the globe. Ah, dear. So yeah, it's because you got NASA, which stands for Never a Straight Answer, and you can't prove it's spherical. Yeah, but you also can't prove it's flat, for fuck's sake. Like, you live in a hologram.
I disagree. I disagree. You can't prove it's flat. Keep walking. Just fucking keep walking.
Well, yeah, I'd say to people, you know, is the Earth flat? And I tell them, yeah, it is till you get to a mountain or a hill
or a curve.
Yeah, a curve. Yeah, and then I also freak them out. It's like, does light bend? And like, because they used to just like, oh, you Jesuit and you know, they're in that paradigm of it's like one or the other, one or the other. It's like you're a hologram and you're creating your reality.
Can you imagine having a flat earther in your family and having to try to explain that shit to your friends? Can you imagine that?
Yes, I can.
You can.
I have them on the show.
Yeah, quite easily, actually. Yeah.
Can you imagine having to explain that shit to your friends, right?
Yeah.
Especially and inviting them out, or you know, they come out of the room when you have your friends over, and you're like, oh fuck, right? Don't say anything, right?
Yeah.
That's like a whole mental illness in and of itself. And even if you do believe the Earth is flat, genuinely and stuff, everybody has their belief systems, but there's something about this flat earth thing that makes people want to talk a lot. Why? Keep it to yourself, okay? I got a teddy bear. I have a teddy bear. I love that teddy bear. Do you see me telling everybody? Oh, crap. I just did, right? I have a teddy bear. I believe the teddy bear is alive, right? I have conversations with it, right? But I don't tell everybody that, do I? Right?
No. Also, I think the teddy bear's in shock because it's seen you do what you do at night, and it's like, so yeah, it needs therapy. Just oh, there's a marketing thing like teddy bear therapy. Join today. That's
a white light. Every white lighter should have a teddy bear to speak to, because nobody else wants to fucking speak to you, right?
Yeah,
nobody else wants to.
Is your teddy bear stuffed? Then come to us and spend a lot of money.
It's their totem. It's their spirit guide.
Paddington is my spirit animal.
I still trying to figure out this white lighter as a sexual being thing. How does that work? I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, what do they say to each other?
They don't. They stopped having sex 20 years ago, David.
Yeah, didn't you see Gwyneth Paltrow come out and said she's sexually frustrated with her husband half a meter away? It's like, he's just there. Instead of telling everybody, jump him. Like, I don't think he would be. He married you. I think there may be some attraction there, unless it was a convenience.
Yeah, a marriage of convenience. Interesting.
That's what it ends up being. That's how a lot of calls on my show end up that way. One is super into sports and conspiracy. The other's a love and lighter. And they haven't had sex since the last kid was born.
I feel much better about myself being a hermit. Because just the universe is so great where it's like, you know what? I think I've done the work. I'm ready to go dating. And then the universe says, oh, cool. Here's a virus where there's no interaction with other humans. Well played, universe. Well played. Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
Here's a good question for you.
Mhm.
Apart from the whole losing of freedoms and the frustration and the anger, people are getting horny, y'all. Like, we're going to see, like, they're going to probably break quarantine.
A lot of COVID-19 babies coming off of this. You know this.
Yes, that's if you're actually stuck with someone you can reproduce with. What if you're at home and you've only got a cat or a teddy bear? Don't go there. Yeah.
A lot of jail time coming off.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of jail time coming out of this. Cats need love too, right?
So yeah, sorry to step on you, Andrew. There, I just had that thought of like, you know, you're feeling a bit toey. Over to you.
The last line is the awakened being. The awakened person has qualities of all the others, but one thing separates them. They do not want to be labeled. They have earned their status of being awakened and will vigorously defend themselves against any other version of woken personalities trying to change them. They have gotten over 5G and vaccines. Your Jedi conspiracy tricks will not work on them. The awakened person wants to be called an awakened being, not a person. For they have lost themselves to the ideology of the movement. No matter how much yoga they do, no matter how much inner work they do, it's never enough for the awakened being. They do not practice yoga or meditation anymore. They lie about it, as they're always looking for a job that's beneath them. All too often, the awakened being has to justify everything they do to their friends and family, for if they don't, they will be judged as a conspiracy theorist or worse, a social justice warrior. And they secretly watch sports when no other awoke person is around them.
There's a lot to unpack there. There really is. There's so much. There's so much to unpack there. So, I suppose I should start this off. I tell you what. I'm going to be the awakened person, and I'm going to speak to you heathens here. First of all, I'm going to speak to you heathens. I just think that you guys are really judgmental, right? It doesn't matter whether I'm judging you for your opinions, right? I just think you guys are really judgmental. And clearly, you all haven't actually seen what we as developed creatures go through. And making fun of people is so low frequency. What do you guys have to say to that?
That's so perfect.
What do you guys have to say to that? Because I think you guys are like really low frequency. And I think this comedy where you're taking the piss out of people is really, really, really ugly. And I just... it's very offensive, and you're hurting people. You're hurting them. You're hurting them.
You haven't done the shadow work, have you?
Exactly. You haven't done the shadow work, have you?
You're running away from your shadow, and you're wondering why it still follows you everywhere. It took me a decade to figure that out. It's like, why are my problems following me? It's like, because you're not dealing with them, you twat. Oh, okay. Yeah, and also I love those. Like, why does this keep happening to me? Because you're in a loop and you haven't learned the fucking lesson.
Yes, but I just think you guys are very mean-spirited, and you're just not aware that stuff like that. And did you just light a cigarette, Monty? You just light a cigarette.
Yes. That's
yes,
it.
It's basically,
I'm never watching you again.
I'm basically. I have my own reasons to do it, and it's mainly so I can get a smoker's cough and freak everyone out when I leave the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you think that's an enlightened thing to do? Do you? You see,
Yes.
you guys have just not really gotten it as yet. You need to be more spiritual. This could have been a wonderful comedy show if you guys hadn't gone down this take the piss out of people route. Right?
Yeah, but what are you
This is
talking
not,
about?
This is not ushering the fifth world of peace. It's not ushering the fifth world of peace.
What are you talking
I'm just telling you.
I am being spiritual. It's spirit tobacco. Come on.
It's all natural.
You're not a freaking shaman. What are you talking about, Monty? You're not a freaking shaman. You don't have it. You don't get that excuse.
I paid a lot of money to, I think, well, he gave me acid or it was a placebo. Anyway, I fell down some stairs and I was enlightened. Or concussion. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, how dare you, sir?
No.
So-
Monty, moving towards the light is not being enlightened.
Awaken David. When's the last time you doxed someone because they didn't agree with you?
Let me
This
just
morning?
write your number. Let me just write your number. Right freaking chat. It's
So,
1-800.
Andrew
Awaken
Bartzis.
David. How many
Go
social media accounts do
fuck
you have?
Andrew. Andrew.
Well, I've seen his enlightened bear on Twitter handle. So yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna go get that bear. I'll be back in one moment. You guys just continue. I'll be back with you in 1 second.
All right.
I always
So if anybody's in the chat room and has experienced the different levels of awokenness, we want you to write down into the chat room all the different types of people you've experienced to see if we can engage the chat room. All right, go ahead, Monty.
Oh, can't remember because my short-term memory is shot because I smoked weed for over a decade. So I'm also quite glad that I don't at the moment because everyone's in quarantine. I think everybody who massive withdrawal symptoms going on. So that will be fun living with a meth head or a junkie or just a stoner.
All right, if you guys are listening on Facebook or YouTube and want to come and join the chat here in the Zoom room, Robert will put up information in just a second for how you to come and visit the Zoom chat room and be a part of the greater show.
This is Cutie Bear.
Oh,
Aw.
That's who I'm spending like my quarantine with.
why are you
Right.
strangling him? Oh, is that just?
I'm not struggling him, okay?
You're fondling him.
I'm not fondling him either.
See how he loves the bear.
I'm gonna
He
move
wants to
Cutie
be the
Bear
bear. He wants to be with the bear at every moment. He takes
That
it
is the-
outside, but he
That
can't
is the
see.
truly awakened state. That is my guru right there.
So David, you got to
He's
put. You gotta
totally
put the,
silent inside. He's mastered his need for food and air and like water and stuff like that. He is the true guru. I am.
Oh, are you
becoming like
vegan?
the bear. Yes,
David,
I
Are you
am.
vegan?
You have David. You
Yes.
have
Yes,
to
I
atta-
am vegan.
David, you have to attach your bear to your necklace to truly be an awakened being.
Oh no! What the
Yes.
hell? Why would I want to just that's my name?
That begs the question. That begs the question: is Flavor Flav the Lord of Time?
Technically is because he has a big
Yeah.
clock.
Yeah, he knows what time it is at all point.
Right.
Also, that reminds me, Bernie Sanders is the Yoko Ono of hip hop because he broke up Public Enemy. That's
That's
not
right.
honest.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought he was supposed to save the planet, not destroy it. Just went a bit Obi-Wan Kenobi there. So there you go. Oh, I just got news to hand. Joe Biden has become the Democratic Party's nominee after Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the presidential race. A statement from Mr. Sanders says, "I'll be resting in one of my many houses. Thank you for your support. No refund." Mr. Biden has been quoted as saying, "I use peanut butter for my hair cream. You smell nice." Back to you.
And remember, Joe Biden has licked a few people on his journey.
How are we gonna talk about the news and miss out Trudeau talking about people speaking moistly?
Oh, that
Speaking
one's
moistly.
good. Speaking moistly.
What was on this man's mind when he said that?
I don't know. Well,
What was on this man's mind?
Well, he did wear those penis socks to like a G8 summit or something like that. He's just sitting there,
And let's
there's
not
cocks all over.
let's not forget that dress up that he did when he went to India, right? He dressed up in tradition. That's like wow.
Yeah, that was very Canadian. So he
very
looked like
Canadian, yeah, and he apologized after, which was also very Canadian as well, right? What's actually kind of funny, he's in a fight right now with the premiers the various premiers around Canada, because he said, well, we need to enact an emergency order. And the premiers told him to go fuck himself in the nicest Canadian way possible, which is really funny as hell.
I like how Canada got its name. It's if you spell it out, it's very blatant. It's CANADA. There you go, Canada. I'm from Australia. You know, we're stuffed. Like, the white man came and made the country better. You're destroying the planet. We have the wheel. We have 80,000 years of spiritual technology. This rock holds 4 gigabytes of information. Primitive.
Your mama's so awoke, she's a flat earther.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
She also so fat, where she goes to the edge, the whole planet tips.
Yeah. So we took the piss out of the conspiracy theorists and the white lighters. What other group do we need? Let's take the piss out of the Democrats.
Well,
Vote blue no matter who.
Hold on, before we jump into that, let's acknowledge what the awoke 5 levels of woke people are. People who still haven't figured out the greater purpose of being here in the now. And unfortunately, there are so many people that truly believe they're here in the now, but can't have a moment of comedy with us. I know there's someone who's going, I'm never going to listen to these guys again. It's a Friday night. Why aren't they talking serious shit? Because sometimes you just got to let down, bitch.
I know why we're talking serious shit. I ran out of toilet paper.
Yes.
You need one of those quantum wipes.
Quantum wipes wiping. Yeah.
It takes the shit before you even have it.
Exactly. Yeah. They can be used for eternity or longer. So that's all. You only need one. It's not really a good marketing business thing, but still, they feel nice.
You know, a couple million ply.
Just some financial news. The exchange rate now is $2.30 to 1 sheet, according to the TP index.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the new currency.
Yeah, the price of toilet paper has spiked and has reached $600 per roll on the streets of Los Angeles. Dealers have been inundated and found it hard to keep up with supply with demand by resorting to using old phone books. The rise of what they're calling ink butt has risen by a staggering 800%. A burden to the health system it doesn't need.
I never thought I'd live to see the day where it came down to the toilet paper. I never thought it did.
I've got a bit of truth. I've got a bit of truth for the audience here. So I saw an article on why there is actually a toilet paper shortage, and I did not know this article actually informed me. It was on CNN, and what it is the toilet paper industry has 2 sides: the commercial side and then the at-home side. Do you know that 60% of all toilet paper is used on the commercial side, and that the commercial side and tools and everything is completely separate than the home side? And that their pricing, their structure, and their tooling are such short, just-in-time things, and that 60% of the people shit outside of their home, and the amount of toilet paper that they produce every month is more for the commercial side. And the commercial side will not sell you toilet paper that's not triple ply roll and meant for giant, airport bathrooms.
Also,
that's actually why there's a shortage.
And people aren't stealing from work.
Right.
And there is that.
Hey man, you got a roll, man? I just need 1 roll to tide me over, man.
Just 1 roll, man. Just 1 roll.
Come on, man. Just give it over, man.
Do you guys know what prairie dogging is?
No, but I'm scared to ask this question. What is it?
Okay, so in Canada, in a place called Saskatchewan, because nobody knows where the fuck that is, there's a there's a saying when you're prairie dogging. So basically, what it is at a certain time, you get little babies from the prairie dogs. They're like little groundhogs, right? That's what they call prairie dogs.
Yeah.
They look up through the ground, and if you look cross sectionally, you see like the little heads coming up and going back down into the ground and stuff like that.
Yep.
So when it is that you need to take a shit, apparently, right? People refer to that as prairie dogging. Right?
Okay. Well, there's an easy way out of that, and San Francisco leads the way. If you need to poo, go right ahead, anywhere, like the street, the garden.
There's a prairie dog.
And I think he's offended by what you said.
Yeah, he probably is. Probably gonna give me the business afterwards. Write me a nasty email. Right?
Oh, an awoken prairie dog. Now we know we're in the end days.
Yep.
He does like your teddy bear, though.
What?
It's just
He does like your teddy bear.
That teddy bear's cousin's that prairie dog.
No, he is.
That's probably why.
All right, so let's take the piss out of politics.
I'm game.
Well, it's going to be an easy job because they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So I want to start with the Australian point of view of how fucked up American politics is.
Oh shit.
Well, hey. Don't start with that, you Canadian. Yeah. You're ruled by the Queen too.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Right.
Well, what I see, you've got Orange Man Bad, who I don't really bag Trump that easy because everyone else does. But the one thing I do point out is he looked directly at a solar eclipse. That's what you need for intelligence. I'll just go blind. And then on the other side, you've only got a two-party state, red or blue, and you forget about everybody else. And the way I see it, Bernie dropped out again. I think he's figured out his role on the planet of piking right near the end. And their nominee is Joe Biden, who clearly has dementia or Alzheimer's and slowly falling apart. That clone really was bad. I wouldn't go back and I would get a refund from that clone because what was it, 3 or 4 debates ago, he was talking and his eyeball was filling with blood. He's falling apart on stage, and that's how he got the nickname Clot and Eye Joe.
Clot and Eye Joe.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually think he was having a traumatic, a mini stroke at that point.
Yeah.
You know, when he got caught wanting to lick the children, I think he was actually having a stroke at a mental stroke at that moment.
Yeah,
I actually shared what are we talking about here? I missed that in the news. What we're talking about?
Monty, tell him about it.
I'm not sure about the licking part. I didn't see that part because I've just switched off. But there is so much footage of him at a press conference or in front of national cameras, and anyone under 15, he sort of creeps on and hugs them and starts sniffing their hair
and licks their arm.
Oh, mother of God! Really?
Yeah. And,
yes.
Yeah, and going back to vote blue, or however you said it, it's you've got a Joe Biden who comes across as a creepy pedophile that is slowly slipping into madness, and they think he's going to win against Trump because you hate Trump so much. I wouldn't trust anything.
Can you imagine this man at the UN? That's what you have to. This is what you have to think about. Can you imagine this man at the UN?
Can you imagine Trump at the UN?
No, we've already seen Trump at the UN. All right, so it can't get any worse, you're thinking, but I think it can, because when your president starts doggy humping some other world leader, because it slips.
Well, yeah,
things are going to get real. He has to make speeches to the world, right?
Yeah,
right?
Well, he forgot Obama's name. He just called him, my boss. And the one that I do laugh hysterically at, he forgot the name of God and referred to it as, the thing. Yeah, the deity, all creation.
Andrew, you know how this is looking to the rest of the world, right? Yes. You're the American on the back. You're the American. You know what this is looking like, right?
Yes.
Come on, guys. Look, if you guys are in the US and you're listening to this broadcast, talk to us. Tell us what's going on here. Like out of how many millions of people, you can't find one person that's like, seriously? What's going on?
It's I know people that dislike Trump, and they're completely in shock of like, really, Biden? And they know that Trump's going to get in either way. But of course, the Chinese released the virus to take Trump down. Okay, I think that the Chinese had a virus and they released it outside of their country so everyone else's economy can suck as well. So the Chinese don't actually go, haha, we're all equal now, suck it, haha.
And you got put in this watching the shit show continue. He says, we don't have to destroy shit. Let's let them get on with it. Right? Because Joe is eventually going to push the wrong button. I thought this was a button to go up. No, that would be that would be to release some nuclear weapons, Joe. Keep your hand away from it.
I did just see a lovely meme about Joe Biden, which was he believes he's the man to beat Ronald Reagan. Vote Joe.
That's funny as hell. No, honestly, honestly, this American politics is out of hand. Come on, you guys make entertainers your policy makers. What's up with that? Please explain it to me. I don't understand.
It's unexplainable. It is complete and total disastrous. Basically QAnon is running Fox News.
It's the subconscious of the collective narrative on the planet that's expressing itself through political means. And it's shit.
Yeah.
Why doesn't QAnon want to talk about COVID? Because it's not a part of his reality.
Well, yeah, we're all in our little bubbles, and it's fascinating seeing the other bubbles. It's like if you've ever, those college pranks where they put all the dish washing liquid in those fountains and they foam up.
I did that. I used to do that.
It's
the first time I did it, I had a big 1 gallon Palmolive dishwashing soap, and there's this I won't name the place, but it's a big fountain in a local town, a century-old town over here. And I just kind of pulled up and stopped and I had little holes and I threw it. And I kept driving around, and it just started getting bigger and bigger. And the cop stopped there. It was like 14 feet tall. It's all over the car. They started.
And after the show, Andrew gets arrested for crimes.
I don't want to
for crimes against the water fountain. It's okay, Andrew. We can bail you out. You just admitted your guilt online. Just to give you some bit of legal advice there.
Then I have to admit, it was so pleasurable to do. I began stalking water fountains all around the Tri-County area.
Yeah, this is the last we see of you.
Yes.
There's a special place in hell for people like you, Andrew. Some ombudsman or whatever it is you call these guys are thinking there's a special place in hell for people like you.
No, it's all right. Andrew has to just do one thing and he's off scot-free. He has to change his last name to Clinton and everything's fine.
There we go.
Because,
Yeah, I think.
Well, it works for the other Clintons. It's funny talking to people like, Trump's so evil. It's like, okay, but the other choice was Hillary Clinton. And then they shut off. Because, someone who...
I have never seen a president in all of U.S. history get impeached and still causing trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So true.
Wow.
Well, they should have impeached him on actually a crime instead of like, we think he did something, so we're going to push it through. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, if Trump is so corrupt, they went with two things of like something about a phone call and wasted millions of dollars of tax money.
I just saw a meme of Hillary Clinton. What do you think she's thinking right now out of all of this shit that's going on?
Really, Biden? We're looking at like,
yeah, she must be having all sorts of stuff going on mentally. right? You picked
Mhm.
Biden, but you won't pick me.
Yeah.
Like, seriously,
Well,
right?
if you remember her response when Trump won the election, she wasn't seen for 24 hours. Apparently, she got extremely drunk and started throwing things around the hotel room. Obviously, she was told she would have won, and she didn't.
Yeah. But she
And
was
then
right.
and then strangely enough, the Clinton Foundation collapsed because she had no power anymore.
Uh-huh. She was a
So
good,
there was an upside.
yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure why it is that she wasn't elected the last time. I guess she was running against Obama, and the Democrats decided Obama was a better bet, and so on.
Mhm.
Would she have won had she run this time?
No, she's too charged and too polarized, and the Trump side would have demonized her, and the clone that is her would have broke down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, don't go to Clones R Us. They're terrible at like Biden. Actually, what's going on with Madonna? Did you see that Madonna video of her in a bath with flowers and in her mansion, saying, looking pale white, Asian eyes, and then saying, "We're all the same. We can get through this." Like, have you noticed the celebrities are missing their attention, so they're just doing anything now?
And the other, what was it? Gal Gadot, is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah, Gal Gadot, yeah.
Gadot, right. And she made a serious error with that video. She did.
Oh yeah, they picked Imagine, where it's the most socialistic, communistic. Imagine if there's no heaven and everything else like that. It's like, well, one thing that did expose is that without makeup artists and fashion designers, they all look normal now. Instead of that preening goddess in front of the cameras, it's like, you look like that. You, not Gal. She's lovely.
What went through her mind when she made the video?
She's helping. That she probably falls into the woke ladder that Andrew pointed out. She's somewhere along that. It's like, no, I'm doing it because you've given me all money to watch me wear a short dress as Wonder Woman.
More than likely, all of her real people are out sick, and the only people that left are her yes people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that video got made. Yes, it's perfect. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
John Lennon is a god. Pick a better song.
And he's probably thinking his lucky stars he got shot in the back, right?
Mm-hmm. Now that we've taken the piss out of the American politics, which is so easy because it's so glutton full of piss. Let's look at the world, the rest of the world, and its politics.
Let's look at let's look at that poor Iranian health minister.
Oh.
Sorry, we should really be. Oh, that's mean. Okay, I will try to say this. I'm going to go there.
Yes.
You are health minister. You came on to a international broadcast, coughing and sweating.
Oh, it's even better. The Dutch health minister, who's banned threesomes, is the size of a bus. Like, how can you be a health minister where you've been eating donuts since you're the age 16?
This is do as I say, not do as I do. Come on,
David, you got to give the whole background story about the Iranian health minister. Then what happened to him?
Then he died, and I hate to have to say this, all right, but seriously, he died. He died of COVID-19.
So he's saying not to worry, that we're going to beat this thing, social distancing, and he infected everyone in the health ministry, and he died 6 days later.
Look, it's not funny. It really isn't, but come on.
So he was leading by example?
Yes, he was leading by example.
Correct. And then there was this Republican guy who says that this COVID-19 thing was just a conspiracy hoax against Trump to take down Trump. And then he died as well. Okay, commerce coming quick and fast for everyone.
The head ambassador from Iran to the Pope died of COVID. Okay.
What?
Yes, the head ambassador from Iran to Rome died of COVID, and then you had one of the top Shia Muslim priests that basically said everyone will go to church, your God will protect you, not a thing, and he got COVID and died too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing Paul Joseph Watson's been sharing videos like that where social distancing, I call physical distancing because that's what it is. English language kind of works sometimes. It's the clues in the name. Distance, not social. You can still be social and be 3 feet away or 6 feet away. All the Muslims in England are still going to the mosque and because they believe in Allah, they are protected. And of course, they're all touching each other and hugging each other. And so
there are a whole bunch of people in Italy who went to church on Ash Wednesday who would beg to differ about that God theory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people who went to church on Ash Wednesday that would like to, that would probably speak a different story. Okay.
That would be an awkward conversation once they've passed over and they've met their God. What the hell do you think you're doing? Oh, baptism. Yes, that's right. Yeah, right in the eyes.
Yeah.
So we have Easter coming up here, and you have a whole bunch of people that are going to be violating the Easter order, and right at a time when the COVID cases are peaking, because the president here just can't give a straight answer on what to actually do. He has these regular press conferences where he contradicts himself from minute to minute at that moment. So unfortunately, this is going to go on for a very, very long time, unless they try to force everyone back to work, and then it's going to go on for an even longer time. But what I want to touch on now is something that we all hold dear to our hearts. Sports is gone.
Well, I don't hold it dear to my heart, but hey, what? Sports is definitely gone.
Sports is gone. Sure. I say dear to our heart, it's dear to our heart for a reason. For all those people that we thought were forever lost in sports and nothing would ever change them, oh, look at them have to do the inner work now.
Oh, yeah. Mind you, I still think we could have snooker. It's just the player has to stay in rotation, like the Earth and the Moon around the table, which could be a flat Earth. I'm figuring out.
Flat Earth sports.
Flat Earth. Yeah, flat Earth.
Can you imagine the modifications to sports if this COVID-19 goes on indefinitely?
Yeah.
Like, how would you modify basketball? You have like long hands, people running down the court, dribbling with a prosthetic.
Well, I just had an idea of they can do Miss America and Miss Universe, but they have to wear full hazmat suits.
Yeah,
and so they're only based on their answers, which will be muffled. And
then correct. And American football, can you imagine that? The amount of padding you're going to have to be walking around with.
Michelin men, all right. Like, you know those sumo suits that everyone wears.
That's right.
That would actually be a lot more entertaining than American football as it is. Up the difficulty level, less people would actually get hurt doing that stuff.
I think was it Toronto, but someone went for a walk dressed as a T-Rex.
Yeah,
there you go. That's how you get around the basketball. They all wear T-Rex outfits.
Did you know that in Toronto they have a no pants day on the subway? Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
I'm not kidding. No. Like, there's a special day that people wear no pants on the subway, and I'm like, it's the subway. You don't need any more fucking germs, all right?
Is it obviously in summer? Because I don't see it happening in winter.
It's around summer.
It's no pants day. It's December the 9th. It's no pants day.
I'm going to take this out of Canadians, all right? Because I've lived there for a while. And I'm like, around the first New Year's Day, they have
there you go, no pants day.
Oh. Seriously?
Yes. There's your no pants day.
Yeah. I didn't know they actually took pictures of that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people should not be taking pictures of that stuff. Anyway, so as I was saying, no, and they have this cold dip challenge on New Year's Day where they go jump into the lake, and Toronto on New Year's Eve, no matter what year you're in, is not going to be warm in any way, shape, or form. Okay? But they go jump into the lake, right? And I'm more concerned that you're jumping into the lake. Because
It's called the polar. David,
nowhere near.
It's called the Polar Bear Club, and it's over 150 years old that people do this. It actually refreshes the body. Yes, you go and
refreshes the body.
Refreshes the body. Yes, it actually triggers the body. Back in the 1850s, like if people were really sick, they told them to jump into the lake in the middle of the winter, and it brought them back to life.
Or they could have told them to go jump in the lake where that phrase comes from because they want to get rid of them. All right.
They do that in Russia and Scandinavia and everything, but that's because they've been in a sauna for 5 hours and they've been drinking one beer and they're extremely drunk. The trick is, once you jump in there, you get out straight away. You don't stay there like, oh, this is fine.
All right. So we've gone a long way of taking the piss. We want to take suggestions from the audience that's inside the Zoom chat room. For anybody that's listening to us on Facebook or YouTube and wants to come and join the group here in the Zoom room, Robert is going to put up information on the screen of how it is for you to come and join the actual Zoom room and be a part of the conversation. So for all you wonderful people that have been listening and in the chat room, type some of the things you want us to talk about.
And we'll destroy the idea. Not you.
Exactly.
You. We'll destroy the idea. No, I mean, like, talk about who's the Attorney General anyway. But yeah, the point is we won't be making fun of the audience. We'll just share the idea and then we'll go. It's almost like a comedy, stand-up comedy gig where there's actually interaction with the audience, which is kind of missing. Being a stand-up, you want that instant reaction. And when I'm on radio by myself, it sucks because I say a joke and I have no idea if it worked or not. And then 3 hours later, yeah, that thing about the bear was funny. Like, well, that doesn't help me. I'm addicted to that rush from getting there anyway. So that's
cool. That's cool. So I see one here from Alan Sainery. Andrew, do you have any categories for asleep people? The first one is the Fox Newser.
Oh, yes.
Like, guys, let it riff. What are some of the other levels of asleep people?
Savior complex. Because that's what I've noticed as well. Instead of doing the inner work and realizing that you are more powerful than anything, you're a fractal of the prime creator and you're here to do something, even if it is to knit. People go, oh, no, Q will save us. Follow the plan. So like, well, what are you doing? I'm saying things on the internet by follow the plan. And that's all I'm doing. I'm repeating things. Oh, the repeater. How about that one?
Regurgitator.
What about the embodied emotionalist?
Ooh, tell us.
The embodied emotionalist lives life from their body outwardly. Okay? It's how they feel that matters. Reason has nothing to do with it. So if I wake up today and I think that the earth is flat, that's how I feel. That's who I am. Okay? And there's no one who could tell me anything else about that thing, right? And if you tell me anything else, I'm going to have to label you as judgmental and unenlightened. You know that everybody knows one of these people. Everybody knows at least one of those people.
I see what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. And I totally agree, because if we band together, we can tell other people to live their own lives.
Correct. Because you know how that works.
Yeah, it's that whole... Quiet now. That's one thing I do know that's what we're seeing in the world, where it's I'm right and you're all wrong because you disagree with me. I see it all the time because I delve into the geek fandom, and I'm a Star Wars fan, and I don't like the new ones because I like good storytelling. However, I get called a sexist because, oh, you don't like women? Yeah, I do. This actress I'm basing on merit sucks. And yeah,
rational. The embodied emotionalist does not care about all of that.
Logic doesn't apply to them.
It doesn't apply to them. Logic is some sort of oppressive thing that you men created, or you asleep people created. So for the embodied emotionalist, anybody who's enlightened who speaks any sense is oppressive. And every one of us has met someone like that, really. Mm-hmm. And I like to wind them up, right? By pointing out every fallacy they said. Oh, that's ad hominem. What does that mean? Why are you talking these big words, David? I like to wind them up, right? Why are you talking these big words? What's up with that? And I'm like, no. It means that you're not actually dealing with what I said. You're actually trying to attack me, right? And they're like, well, I don't have to deal with what you said because what you said was offensive. And I just, we haven't taken the piss out of the social justice warriors.
So real quick,
this is a non-discrimination show.
Another level of the sleep people is the conversational terrorist.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
We've all experienced a conversational terrorist. Right when you're getting to a point where nobody's playing devil's asshole and you're actually getting into the deepest of debate, they go, in 1937, blah, 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 and they throw in something that has nothing to do with the subject matter.
And the bombast people, the same emotional people. I respond to what you're saying by getting angry. I'm really angry at you, right? For saying what you just said, right? I can't really tell you anything against it, but I know that I'm angry, and that's all that matters, and that's all I need to win the argument.
And because you made me angry, I'm gonna dox you.
Yeah, to me, it happens to me where I share my truth and I'm smashing people's paradigms, and I think on a subconscious level, there's this whole thing of where I'm spoiling their work, if that makes sense, like their journeys, like. Don't tell me that I can live forever. You're ruining the moment. And I think that's where they get upset. They get upset because it's like, well, my soul tells me that's true, but we know that's fake. I like atheists. They believe their souls meet sex. Good on you. But it's that whole. I get that feeling that I'm a spoiler because I share things like. There's no such thing as death. We're our dream and we can move forward. So this is the Wendy's. Oh, just whatever, dude. Come on.
Here we go. Now it's time for David to take the piss out of the social justice warriors. David, erect your soapbox. Pull out your teddy bear.
I don't even know where to start with this group. Okay. First of all, let's start with the name. Who came up with that fucking name? It's like social distancing. Okay. There is no such thing as social justice. There is either justice or no justice. That's how it works. Okay. There's no special form of justice for anyone. Okay.
Yes, so it's vigilantism.
Right. So that's the first thing. If you remember that thing at Berkeley where they tore up that school. I love that school. That school is one of the very few schools that actually has a supernatural department, if you can imagine that, right? Berkeley is one of the coolest schools. They invited some idiot to speak. What's his name? Milo Yiannopoulos?
Oh, yeah, Milo, yeah.
They invited him to speak. You believe a bunch of teenagers who feel that they're enlightened. If whatever path, I want to say this to everyone, if whatever path that you're on is not making you smarter, more moral, stronger, more intellectual or whatever, you might be doing something wrong. So their response to this guy, right, was to cheer up the school that they go to. And they call it social justice. What the hell is that? Where did that come from? I have no idea where it came from. It just creeps up. And the real people who are doing the work and so on, just sitting back, like I have friends who were with me in California during those days, way back when, and they're sitting down and they're looking at the shit show like, oh, yeah. And they have nothing to say. They have nothing to say about it, right? So what is social justice? Please educate me.
It's social vigilantism.
Yeah.
It's vigilantism.
You see what we're doing here? That would offend some social justice warrior, but I'm going to take the piss out of them because none of us in this chat room are politically correct by any means. Okay?
Nope.
So I'm just putting a waiver. If you are very, very far left and you are a social justice warrior or whatever else, you need to leave right about now.
I'm wondering how they ended up here. If they're
Right,
far left.
right. You need to live right about now.
Their social injustice sense. They are talking politically incorrect. I must come here and bring my friends.
Because if you can't take criticism, then you don't need to be here. All right? We're going to take the piss out of our own selves. Okay? There we go.
What I find interesting, which I do find extremely funny, is they call Milo a racist, and he's married to a black man. Like, on paper, he would be perfect for the social justice thing, but they hate him.
And he's gay.
Yep.
And he's gay. Exactly.
He's a gay married to a gay black man, and he's a racist. Okay.
I actually like this guy. Some
of what he says is truly controversial and tends to be somewhat of a little racist attitude, but he does that to get reaction out of you.
That's why I love this guy.
Right.
He winds them up to the maximum.
Yes.
Right? So,
he knows how to pit their triggers.
So I have a friend who has a kid who's going to this school in Canada, artsy school, Sheridan College. All right. And you know, they got the pink hair and the green hair on this side and the pink hair on this side. And they're all very angry at so many things. And I love taking the piss out of this kid, because she's telling me about the plight of the black man and so on. And I'm looking at her like, oh, okay. Tell me about the plight of the black man. Tell me about everything. Right?
Oh, and what about when they get to the point where they start going, and you know what you did wrong? And they start telling you where, as a black man, you went wrong.
Correct. And I'm looking at her with this pink hair and the green hair. And I'm like, I don't want to make a judgment of your pink hair and green hair, but I'm going to say it like this. Okay. There was slavery. Yep. That happened. Let me tell you something. If we had the guns, we would have done it to you.
Yeah, it's been going through history for
I
thousands of years.
I want y'all to understand something. Okay, all of this fight and left and right and black and white and whatever else, it's just shit. It is just shit. At the end of it, stop the nonsense. There has to be a point in time when everything stops, but nobody cares about that. Nobody wants me to say that kind of shit, right? All right, because it's offensive. It's offensive. So if I had to, I want to read this meme right here. Right? So yes, there's injustice in the world. If you're not strong enough to stand up to it, keep your mouth shut. If you think that you're going to make a change by ruining some buildings and doing some vandalism, come on, guys. I mean, like, seriously,
But David, you're telling me to keep my mouth shut. I'm using my free will. I'm using my right to say whatever I want, whenever I want, no matter what it means.
And that's why.
And I'm right and you're wrong.
And that's why the Second Amendment is alive. For people like this. Yeah, that's why the Second Amendment is alive and well. All right? All right. It's kind of funny, right?
Isn't the Second Amendment there to help the First Amendment?
Correct.
As an outsider, that's the thing. Is like we have free speech. It's like, but there's responsibility with that free speech.
Yes, but here's the thing, Monty. That could go both ways. The Second Amendment is also there to help with the First Amendment in that you don't want to keep quiet and you want to keep making noise. I'm going to shoot you. These things also happen.
Yeah,
right?
You go back to the responsibility. Yeah.
So this friend of mine, she's her kid is white and she has this pink and green hair, and we're having this conversation. She's telling me about the plight of the black man and white oppressors and so on. And I'm looking at her with this big question mark on my face, right? With this really big question mark. And I'm like, okay, so just so that we're clear, you're more angry about the plight of the black man than I am. Just so we're clear. I didn't want to miss it or anything. I didn't want to have to miss it or anything, right? And somebody just put in the chat LGBTQ Q1 and Q2. Okay, look, I have a problem with people, and I don't mean the LGBTQ Q2 community. You don't have to complicate things. Okay, I don't have a problem with people of differing sexual preferences saying whatever they need to say. Actually, I have a problem with people who are bigoted against them. However, I do, because if you are a man, follow this logic here, guys. If you are a man and you hate gays, you're shooting yourself in the foot Think about it. If there are more gay men, there's more for you.
Mm-hmm. That's my logic. It's like,
Right?
oh, you're gay. Awesome. I'm going to go talk to these girls over here.
You should be promoting that shit everywhere. You should be telling your friends, you should be gay. You should be gay. Everyone should be gay. You should be telling your friends, right?
Or
So if you are really against gay men, like what exactly are you upset about? What are you upset about? That they're gay? The more gay men there are, the more women outnumber men by 2-1. Am I correct?
Yep.
Around there. It's around 2-1. It's probably more now.
Well, the thing is, the true enemy are the bisexuals, because they can have anyone. So I just pick a side. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to lead towards, well, except for being male, I think the ladies, you can be bisexual because I'm a mathematician and lonely. But yeah.
Human sexuality is actually kind of funny, isn't it? So, yeah, you're right. The bisexuals are the true enemy because they can do whatever, right? Right.
Yeah, their little black book is the phone book. Yeah.
But it still comes down to preferences. It's kind of like when the whole Gothic movement came in, and people were trying to hijack the Gothic movement by saying, I'm Gothic, so therefore I'm automatically sexy. No,
they're tragically.
No, you're not,
David.
No, you're not,
David. No, they're tragically hip.
Tragic.
And if you want to get into the really weird crap, apparently if I don't date a transgender woman, I'm transphobic because even if they just said they're a transgender woman, they haven't had the operation because apparently women have penises too now. Like, I'm not sure how that works.
Who comes up with this stuff? Look, I'm sorry.
SJWs.
Yeah, like who comes up with this stuff? Look, I'm at a certain age right now. I want to use my gray matter to think of really important things as opposed to the 33 or 34 different gender pronouns. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do this. Right.
This is why I didn't join the army, because I would start out as a private and you get the bad jobs of like digging latrines. And what hell is it now where you have to dig 54 different latrine holes because of all the genders? That's a lot of work.
Look, and they enacted a law in Canada, Bill C-16, I believe it is, which actually criminalizes to a certain extent, right, depending on if you're a repeat offender, you continually referring to somebody by the wrong gender pronoun. Okay, that is a problem. Yeah. It's a problem because what happened to if you wanted to be that guy on a particular day, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, right? And somebody says to you, stop referring to me as a man, and you're clearly a man, you have a mustache, so I'm going to call you he. It's going to happen. Brain wired that way. You cannot rewire somebody's brain through legislation, but they're trying to do that. I'm going to call you he. You have a mustache, you got some stubble, you're he. Okay?
It's ma'am. Call me ma'am.
And I want to stop in today. Today's show is brought by the Palladian Pizza Company.
Get your pizza before you've decided what it is.
Exactly.
Yes.
Get your pizza before you decided what it is. It'll be teleported to you right now.
Yep. Teleported right
I just wrote that sketch to piss off the Palladians. See if they've got a sense of humor. So my dreams are going to be interesting for the next couple of days.
You
could also tune into the Palladian boy band in Synchronicity.
Oh, we haven't taken the piss out of
bye.
We haven't taken the piss out of the right wing, but that's just too easy, isn't it?
No, it's as easy as the social justice.
That's just too easy.
I remember having a conversation with Andrew where you've got the far left and the far right, and I'm more impressed with the far right because they tell the truth. you know that they're small-minded, angry racists.
Correct.
The left are trying to virtue signal and grandstand and get woke points, and it's leaked into entertainment where apparently there's like, you remember Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight.
Yep.
It's not about the money, it's about the message, as he's burning $34 million. And that's sort of what has been happening in the sci-fi world. It's just really, really... I won't go down that hole because it's not funny. It's getting... Well, if we go further enough, then you start crying from laughter because of the stupidity of it. Because, we need... in Star Wars, we need representation. Why? If you see a human, like, girls identified with Luke because of what Luke did, not because what he is. He's like, he's a man, I can't identify that.
He's a Jedi with a big lightsaber.
Oh, hello. And that's the interesting thing. With Doctor Who, the whole thing of like, they've changed the main character from a man from a woman. Now, story-wise, that kind of works because it's been put into the show, but the people are making it have just come out and say, look, we're breaking the glass ceiling and we're moving forward and everything else like that. It's been 21 episodes. It's shit. But it's all about it, instead of good storytelling where you could hide these little things about, be nice to people, don't pollute, normal, like with the whole virus thing, like cover your mouth when you cough, wash your hands. And for me, I'm like, what you mean? Like I've been doing for my entire life already. It's like, what? So for me, I think that's probably why I chose comedy for this lifetime, to go through this transition, because you have to laugh at most of this stuff. It is a complete joke. You're like, Donald Trump's president? What? Oh, it's a funny shit show.
But Monty, it's like Emperor Palpatine is in power.
Yeah. Well, no, well, yeah. See, that's what, like, I can see. I was happy that Hillary lost, not that Trump won, and it's been fascinating to see how Trump has moved through things. And just when you thought the Prime Creator didn't have a trick up its sleeve, we'll get Joe Biden to run against him. Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because out of the 101 Democratic candidates, come on, you had a whole bunch of them. Not all of them are perfect. Some of them were ridiculous. Okay, but seriously, because somebody like Trump needs somebody who can take attacks and give them back, right?
And give solutions instead of, that's the thing about the Democratic Party. Instead of finding, okay, that didn't work, we need to find a leader, get some policies or agenda type stuff going and see how we can help the American people and get people to vote for us. What we've had for 3 to 4 years, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. And it's like, I can't watch any late night comics anymore because they've just used the same material for 3 fucking years. It's like, and President Trump's an evil person. People that hate Trump have been pushed away because it's like, it's no offense to the Americans listening, but you do know there's other countries, right?
No, they don't. No,
yeah,
they don't.
This is a good point. This is actually a good point. Look, have you ever turned on MSNBC?
Yes.
And just let it run for hours and hours, and how could you attack for like hours and hours and hours? For what end? Seriously.
Because they are the opposite of Fox News, trying to get the progressive to be progressivated.
Oh, I see.
I'll give you an
It's the
example
totally
of how...
opposite. It's the absolute opposite of Fox News.
And I'll give you an example of how stupid these people are, the Trump derangement syndrome that they have. If Trump cured cancer tomorrow, there will be reports of, and there's been mass losses on oncologists and people losing their jobs. And this is terrible for, it's like, he would probably meet Jesus on the front lawn and everyone will hate him. That's the level of hate. The hatred is so clouded their minds. Now, I understand people don't like Trump. That makes sense. But if they just go to the nth degree of like, this man is Satan, even saying, Hillary's Satan, I'm sure. Or, yeah, but you know my point.
Do you think the US would ever have a leader that people can really, really, really respect?
No.
No, Ron.
No.
Oh.
No.
Ron
not
Paul's
with
still
not with a
alive.
two-party system. Not with a
Oh,
two-
yeah, fair. Yeah, yeah. Now, this is where my hope kicks in and my optimism and slash co-creation element of reality. I'm fascinated to see what will happen after this transition. Of course, it's going to be a complete shit show to get through there, and there'll be 9 fucking sequels of it. However, I'm on the positive timeline that things are going to work out, but that could be 20 years. It could be, next year. I don't know. So, and this is the other fun part of why conspiracy theorists are losing their mind. There is so much information. I had an idea of, I'm going to write down all the conspiracies that's out there at the moment. And then I said, no, because I need 4 whiteboards. Where it's the virus was released, it was accidental, it was natural, and then it just all filtered out. Where they're even getting to the point where they're saying, "Oh, it's the black goo." Like, oh, you've been watching X-Files again.
What I would like is somebody that's in an audience that has a company that's shut down, that has an AI, to come together with us and take in all the conspiracy theories and make a actual network chart. So we can see all the conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. And at that same time, I would like to take the same AI that can look at every law that has ever been written and write a network analysis and compare it to the conspiracy theories.
And then we all call Alex Jones and ask him his opinion.
Oh, the frogs are gay. The frogs are gay. Have you noticed Alex, when he gets really excited, that vein on his forehead's about to burst? And I'm amazed that he hasn't had a heart attack or he's gotten used to it.
I saw a quote in the chat, the love and light are losing their minds. They lost their minds a long time ago.
Yeah. What, 2012? Because I know we've had chats where 2012, and then because nothing happened. To me, it's a starting point. Someone's just sort of tweaked the radio dial up 1 degree of a frequency. But in hindsight, which is a superpower that every human has, because I am a hindsight man. You shouldn't have done that. Well, thank you. 2012, December 2012, that's the starting point. However, I'm totally with Andrew when 18-hour long or 12-hour long show of nothing's going to happen, which was correct. It's just it's a timing point. And it was the end of the Mayan calendar. Now, the way that the Mayan calendar works is you can reuse it. And a lot of people didn't know that. So when I was walking to the station from my house, I saw a lot of 5-ton stone rings out on the front lawn.
Yep, get people getting rid of their calendars.
Yeah, got to buy a new one. Yeah, it's good for the economy.
We're going to go to the Babylonian calendar now, or the Zimbabwean calendar.
Yes, I do like the Pope's work schedule. Have you noticed that Christ dies on a different day each year?
Yes. Correct. It happens. They had the Palm Sunday. And you saw the televised view of the Palm Sunday with all the priests sitting 6 feet away from each other. Mm. The Vatican has lost a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, right? It has.
Mm-hmm. The Vatican has lost a lot of money, right? And the poor Pope is like, well, you got to go down as the least revenue maker Pope in history, right? Yeah, that's going to be a serious problem with you.
Well, I do like the Pope where he's sitting on a $1 million gold throne telling us to look after the poor.
Yes.
You first. And he's like, we shouldn't build walls. It's like, the Vatican's surrounded by a big fucking wall. What are you talking about?
Yeah, don't build walls. Yeah, correct.
Guys, we have had an incredible show. Now we've got to turn the zone of comedy up a notch. Mm-hmm. And there is something we haven't taken the piss out of, a subject matter we really have to let our brains ponder just a second. Ponder one of those great high arcing subject matters that even the social justice warriors won't touch. Can you figure out what it is? Audience, what do you think it is? Go on in and type into the chat room.
Well, we got one saying sex.
Nope.
Or that could be a cry for help. That's what I'm doing.
They're all
Should've put-
pondering. They're all pondering before they type into the chat room.
Why didn't I buy stock or shares in Pornhub? Because they're doing quite well.
They're doing very well.
Sarah H., thank you. The hermits, who are now on COVID lockdown, and they aren't the special hermit no more.
Well.
Yeah, that really did mess them up, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
Right?
yes, I did.
They
Bloody
can't
tourists
be
coming
a
around taking
hermit
my bit.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, we're well trained. Like you're in lockdown, you can't see anybody, and you only have to leave the house for essentials. So the last 3 years, done. And a lot of people are mentioning that on Facebook, and
So the hermits are becoming the extroverts now.
Yes.
I've also yes, because I when people like I'm a hermit, I'm got this down for our quarantine, and I always responded to like us hermits have got to stick together. Well, sort of.
You know what's actually funny about that? Because of COVID-19, the hermits now have to share the space with the rest of the people who were going out. So now you got a problem, right? Because you can't really be a hermit when you have a whole bunch of people around you, right? So that really does mess up. That really does mess up your vibe, right?
It's so much better to leave because, like, you know, I jokingly would say, I'm not going out there. It's too peoply. You go out there now and there's vast tracts of land. And, like, I have to drive my stepdad to physio because it's medical. So it fits into the criteria. And instead of, say, 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, every time we go out, it feels like it's 9 o'clock on a Sunday. There is so much less traffic. And, like, oh, this is so... I'm making good time. There's no idiots around. This is awesome.
So let's focus on hermits. Let's tune up our comedy voice and help those hermits laugh a little bit at themselves.
Well, let's see now. If you're a hermit and you're at home and there's a whole bunch of people around you and there's only one fridge, who's going to die first?
The guy on acid because you can't get to the fridge because the dragon's in the way.
Yeah,
that's how you lose weight on acid.
Yeah, because you can you imagine having to share that space that you once had complete dominion over? This is my land. This is my house. This is my castle. And now you have a whole bunch of people in your space and they're like laughing and having fun. And the ass is supposed to be outside. And if you're a gamer, oh Christ, that's going to be a problem.
What about the pets? Like all the cats are going, why haven't you left yet? It's been a week. Go away. The dogs are like, dude, I'm excited, but come on, I need a break.
I've actually seen a video of a cat that's pissed off at everyone's home, and it's just meows at everyone, angrily meows at everyone all day long.
So he's a grouchy old man, like, yeah, get out.
So you're a hermit. You're used to staying at home in your little dark basement and watching Pornhub or whatever else. Now everyone's home, and if you're a hermit and you're like in one of those teenage hermits and your mother and father are at home and you can't watch your Pornhub in peace, right? Because probably mom and dad is taking over your account and they're enjoying it for themselves or something, right?
Low bandwidth.
Exactly, low bandwidth.
Low bandwidth.
Always a little circle going.
Oh, come on. I was about to climax. Mom!
And your mom is calling you downstairs, right? And messing up your whole shit, right? It's hilarious. Or you're that kind of hermit who just hates people.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, your whole family is at home and you can't say anything because they're paying for the house that you're living in.
Yeah.
Right.
And getting questions by everyone else. So this is what you do each day. Hermits are turning into sages because it's like, how do you deal with this?
The only hermit that's benefiting from this is the hermit who apparently, inverted commas, can't get a job. Can't get a job now. It's COVID-19. Can't go to that job interview. All right? That's the only hermit that's benefiting from this. The rest of the hermits are fucked. They are all fucked. Okay? And what's actually worse than that is that now that everyone's home, that bandwidth is being shared among millions.
I shared a great meme. I shared a great meme of two photos, exactly the same photo, but a guy holding a remote control on the couch passed out. And 2019, useless loser. 2020, hero. And some of the SJW cockheads are both say, "Come on, this generation's World War II." No, sitting on a couch and watching Netflix is not the same as storming Normandy. I'm just putting it out there.
Correct.
Yeah, binge watching war movies is not the same as going to war.
Did you see that?
Did you liberate France? No.
I mean, seriously, people take themselves too seriously, right? Like, this is not hardship. Come on, you're at home, you got enough toilet paper. Now, no toilet paper would be hardship. Trying to decide to do what to do without it, that would be hardship, right? You're at home, you're getting 3 squares a day, right? You're not going to work, you're working from home, most of you. Stop talking about this like this is hardship. The only hardship is inside your head, okay? All right? Can you imagine when this is over and your asses need to get back to work? That means that you got to take that commute.
That's like the long summer. That's like the long summer vacation that's finally over. You got to go back to school.
Correct. You imagine those kids.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why the parents are having a bit of an issue, people are having an issue, is because imagine being locked up and you decided that you were going to have 3 kids, and they're all minors, 3 or 5. That screaming age. Right, mommy. That's gonna wind you up and drive you crazy. And you're gonna take the shortest route to get out there. I'm just gonna go out and whatever happens, happen. I get run over in the freaking road. I don't care. I get run over.
David, long before that happens, they're gonna give those little kids an Xbox and walk away.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, but it's May. Just shut up and play it.
Shut up and play. Here's your Xbox.
What I find too as well, there are people where they're observing the draconian laws, which makes sense. Just observe them, don't fall into the emotional side of it. But they're screaming, we're losing freedoms. We need to fight for our freedoms. I need the freedom to go to a job I hate for 40 hours a week and be stuck there because I don't have the freedom to do anything. I'm like, well, pick a side. I know you want to leave that.
True. That's so true.
Correct.
To see that side of the conversation.
Yes. Can you imagine? What are you fighting for?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't want to be a locked-in house slave. I want to be a slave that can move to another room and work for my masters. Good for you.
On YouTube.
Exactly.
Get your master's degree on YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
I've stopped calling myself researcher. I'm an investigator.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Today's Good Friday, right?
Yep.
That's kind of like anticlimactic, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a holiday, but your ass is locked in the house anyway.
We've had the last 2 to 3 weeks of Good Friday anyway.
Right. Yeah, you're locked in the house anyway, and you can't go out anywhere, right? And it's like, okay, what's the point of having a holiday?
Like normally this is the biggest bar day of the year, even greater than New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the Thursday night before.
Yes, the Thursday night before, and Good Friday itself, because a lot of them go to church and go out and get drunk right afterwards.
Do you remember that? Do you know that certain provinces in Canada and so on, they're restricting the amount of alcohol, especially in the Caribbean? They're restricting the amount of alcohol you can drink because they know you're at home, nothing to do.
Exactly.
You're gonna drink, right? That's gonna put a bit of a strain on the emergency services, don't you think?
That's right.
People are gonna be home smoking, drinking, and whatever. Oh, by the way, which reminds me, what is the drug of choice for a white lighter?
Air.
Sage. Oh,
air.
Yeah.
Nope. Snow.
Snow.
Snow. Why? Because it's white? How dare you, sir?
Right?
Now you're talking about cold moisture or that other snow that costs about $200.
You know it's the other snow.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, just imagine everyone that
Because
used to go to raves and nightclubs and
listen, all the poor drug dealers who are having to deal with COVID-19 that can't be out on their street no more. Their jobs are done.
Yeah, but they've got depending on how big their stash is, they'll be all right for a month.
The month is already up for most of them.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I'm in
always,
Australia.
they
We're
can
always
apply
behind.
for government checks after all. I didn't make any money this month. I got some assistance from the government.
Well, it's their fault that we're in this position. So,
Yes,
and it's also made out of thin air. Because like there's been articles here in Australia, it's like the Reserve Bank of Australia has made money out of thin air. And that's troubling. And I'm finding it interesting, which I'm slowly dealing with it because, we've been talking about this type of stuff for a decade and, like what's out there are conspiracies. And every time someone sort of awakens to more what's going on, I used to be like clench my jaw and like, I've been telling you, but now I'm like, oh, you're there. Okay. And it's interesting where like you can see the anger phase when someone finds out like, oh, the government doesn't support us and they're trying to kill us and there's a cull. And I'm like, yeah. In about a month, you'll probably hopefully move on to the next stage of the awakening. And it's interesting to see the global reaction that's going on. Because I think, Andrew, we're still in the angry stage, aren't we? Or we're at the start? Or
we should just come up with the 5 stages of being in lockdown. Let's just riff on that for a little bit. What's the first stage?
Boredom. That's the first thing that's gonna hit. Because if you're really hyper and stuff like that, the first stage is going. No, actually, I think the first stage is happiness.
No, first stage
elation.
is first stage is Netflix.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
binging.
The joy of being off. Oh, I don't have to work, and then week 3. I want to go back to work.
So you got Euphoria. You got Euphoria and Netflix.
Yep.
What's the second stage?
Horny.
Boredom.
Horny.
Oh no.
Yes.
Well, yeah, horny boredom. Yeah. Well, actually, horny and then boredom because, like, once the horny goes, then you're like, I've got nothing to do. Someone on the internet said I've completed Pornhub. I'm like, wow, okay. Did you use one of those quantum wipes? Because is that why we're buying toilet paper?
Okay, so we got the first and second stage, and then there's the third stage. Let's really think. What's the third stage of being in COVID-19 lockdown?
Oh,
Facebook. I'm thinking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
No, that's still part of stage 1 and stage 2.
Okay.
Not frustration, but that cognitive dissonance when two ideas are fighting each other. They're just sort of like shaking because you don't know what the next stage. Well, we know what the next stage is, but it's like you've gone from joy to horny to boredom, and then I'm still bored and I'm getting really tense. I've described it, but I have no idea how to describe it. There's a sentence.
Frustration is going to be setting in there.
Yeah, frustration. That's the word. Yeah.
Frustration.
Or anxiety. Thank you, Alan. Anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
No, well, yeah.
I think it depends on the individual. You're gonna teeter totter between anxiety and frustration. I think most people are gonna be like I'm frustrated. Okay, enough of this shit, right? I need to get some sort of distraction. But then if I go out, I might catch something.
Yeah, and then so would you say anxiety, frustration, Andrew, for number
and paranoia
4?
and paranoia?
Paranoia, yeah, and then 5. That would lead into anger.
No, 4.
Yeah, and that would lead into anger.
Anger is number 4, right? So you're angry at the government for keeping you indoors. You're angry at the Chinese for releasing COVID. You're angry because your government checks haven't come in. You're angry at anybody inside your house.
You're angry at yourself. You're angry at yourself because you're watching flat Earth videos because you're bored.
You're angry at a microbe that apparently is killing everyone.
You're angry at all the various conspiracy causes that you could think of, right?
How about this one? You're angry that you're angry.
Yes,
Just
you're angry at your angriness.
Yeah, I'm angry and I'm angry about that.
And I really think that the last stage is apathy. When you lay down on that bed and you're like, just let it end. Just let it end. Just let it end. I think the fifth stage is apathy, where you realize there's nothing you could do. Right?
But if you're love and lighter, there's a stage 6.
What's that?
You lose your love and light.
Yeah, exactly.
The light goes out.
The light goes out.
Yeah. Like, phew, right? You know, the light goes out just like a candle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you start picking up that psycho knife, right? And walking around the house with a psycho theme song running in your head.
Oh, so now we have our 6 stages of dealing with the COVID virus.
And some people, it changes. The timeline changes for everybody because some people are stuck in 2. I think I'm at stage 7 of like, yeah, this is funny. Like, whatever. No. I could just see someone going through 6 days. You're in lockdown 6 days later. Oh, that was an interesting week. I was this.
Yeah, every week the stages change.
Yeah. Oh, I'm back to joy again. Yay. You know, because you start going through your DVD collection. It's like, wow, Hudson Hawk. I haven't watched this for years.
I like that movie.
Yeah, so did I. Apparently, no one did when it came out, but I liked it.
You know what I'm watching right now? Battlestar Galactica.
Good series.
The reimagining or the original?
The reimagining.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well,
very close to. Yeah, go ahead.
We would have had a brand new Battlestar Galactica series, but COVID-19 has shut it down. We would have had season 1 in June.
Ah, good. So that's a win because they'll probably rip it apart because these idiots, like even Lord of the Rings, they were doing that for a TV series, and I'm like, why? The films are brilliant, but they were apparently too woke and they fired everybody, and then COVID-19 happened. So we got to take a win where we can.
Correct.
I like this. Danny Souza, stage 7, pitchforks and torches. That's
Correct.
right.
Because that's interesting where they're not saying we need to have a revolution because they'll get banned from social media right away. But the thing is, it's against 2. Like, you're telling me that Trump's at the top of the pyramid? I don't think so.
No. So who is at the top of the pyramid?
A guy called Keith.
Nice
A guy
one,
called
Monty.
Keith.
Nice one, Monty.
And who's Keith run by? A guy named Bob.
Yeah, but and he's
Hey
a
guys,
friend of Eddie's.
If the murder rate for guys named Keith and guys named Bob goes up, you're gonna get a knock at your door.
Yes, Keith and Bob are coming for us.
There's
Keith
your
and Bob are
hashtag,
coming.
people. Weave and Bob, Keith and Bob. Just be aware. Stay clear.
Keith and Bob are coming for all of you.
I know this may upset some Christians, but I refer to the God of the Bible as a fourth dimensional being that has a massive ego problem. I've had visions of me just like, oh, you're an insect, and flick. I don't go around telling that to Christians because they get kind of cranky, and I understand why.
Well, David,
But
I'm gonna set you up to have a chance to take a few jabs at the Christians during COVID-19
oh my God.
lockdown.
Do we really need to go there? Now let's see now.
We aim to offend, David, and
All
set
right.
your aim squarely on Jesus.
Jeebus.
Okay. You have a whole bunch of Christians who probably listen to this broadcast. Some of them probably checked out by now because God, we're just sinners anyway. We're going to go to hell. Okay. And all of them are believing that this thing that is happening, this is part of the end times prophecy. Okay. Spoiler alert. This is going to go on for a while. So buckle up. Right. That's number 1. That's your first set of advice. It's going to go on for a while. Then you have the Christians who believe that they're protected. Yeah, no, a whole bunch of Christians are dying. Just look at Italy. Okay. Look to Italy for a sign. Okay. Then you got number 3. You got the Christians who are the Revelations buffs. It says that this is going to come down to this is going to come down to some sort of end time and it's all going to end. No, it's actually not going to end. You will still have to go to work for the sinners that you are your colleagues. You're going to have to come home and deal with the sinners that are at your dinner table who refuse to say whatever grace before meals or whatever else. You're still going to have to do that. So you might have to develop something called tolerance, oddly enough. And you might have to develop that shit. Eventually, you're going to have to do that. So before you start talking about, these are the end times and so on, please take into consideration, okay, that Jesus was plagues. Okay, this is not any 10 plagues visited on Egypt and so on for the heathens and so on, right? We're still going to be sinning every other Friday on the show. We're still going to be sinning. You see Monty right there? He's going to go to hell, okay? And we're taking you with us.
I'm going to Detroit.
Right, we're
I'm
all
going to Detroit, everybody. Sorry.
Right, we're still going to be sinning. And then there the other, I have to say this, guys, look, if you are, some of you guys are actually very happy this is happening. You think that the heathens need to die. Christians and heathens alike are going to be dying just the same. And it's only going to be a matter of time before you catch something, okay?
Yeah.
You might catch a bad case of twins because you're home alone, locked down with your wife. That would be worse than COVID-19 because COVID-19 only lasts about a month or so, a couple of weeks at its worst stage. But yeah, twins are going to last for a lifetime. So before you start cranking out that whole thing, please remember that there's such a thing called karma. But I'm going to take a swipe at the white lighters as well, right? I'm going to take a swipe at them as well because that's the new Christianity. You do know this, right? They use the same. They use the same logic. Come on, you ever try to argue for Christian and you say this is my point of view? Well, your point of view is wrong. How do you know that? Because the Bible says so. Okay, so what? Physics says this, and it says no. The Bible says so, and it's the word of God, so I'm right. White lighters use the same logic. It goes something like this. You have a point of view, you're wrong. Why? How do you know that? Because the universal construct tells me this. And I'm like, how do you argue with a white lighter? And I put this out to the audience. Guys in the audience, how do you argue and win an argument with a white lighter? Any ideas about guns out notwithstanding? They're going to leave the guns out of it.
I'll answer that question. I'll tell you when it happens.
I have a
because of course you do.
Just throw any quantum science conversation in there about entangled and unentangled observers, and they're fucked.
Yeah, I like going up to Christian. Well, not going up to Christians, but when talking to Christians, where I believe in Jesus and God, and it's like, well, you are God, and they get upset about that. Like, because I'm from the school of where fractals of the prime creator experiencing itself and we're all one, and for some reason they want to go into, like, I've had Christianity, religion sounds like slavery to me, where I say you have to let Jesus into your heart, but I'm there, I don't have enough room for him. He's a top guy, he's got some good ideas. Why would I? Yeah, it's.
Does he have good ideas though? Let me just point out a few flaws in that logic there.
Well, if I may, are you going from the Bible, which was written from man 100 years after he died, or are you talking about the entity who's been named? Why did it change the name? That's sinister as well. I find interesting.
Good, you're such a heathen, Monty. Oh, you're definitely going to hell. But anyway, as I was saying, I have a few flaws in the logic. So in the Old Testament, he's the guy that you don't want to fuck with, right? You do anything and he's going to like rain down holy hell on you, right? Mm-hmm. For those Christians in here, please understand that this panel that we have here, we actually read. So I'm going to just refer you to Ezekiel 9. So you get anything wrong with regard to this God that is of the Bible, the Old Testament, and he's going to really mess you up, okay? Like Lot's wife, for instance. It's like, I told that bitch not to look back.
Oh, the nuclear bomb that went off, and yeah.
Yeah, I told that bitch not to look back. Why did she look back? Now she's a pillar of salt. Okay, you have all these kinds of things happening, and then you have the New Testament. Okay, where he decides he's a little bit of a schizophrenic guy. He's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should send my son to die for these people. You were messing people. You were seriously fucking people up in the Old Testament for the whole Old Testament. You got burning bushes. You got walls of Jericho. You got Sodom and Gomorrah. You got a whole bunch of evil shit happening, right? You get pissed off. You kill a whole bunch of people. In the New Testament, all of a sudden, maybe I should send my son to die for these people. There's something seriously wrong with that. And I don't understand how Christians, whenever I have an argument with them, don't look over that fact. You remember Isaac? I see a lot of y'all failed Bible school. I see all of y'all like big question marks in the audience, right? Well, anyway, let me tell you the story. So there's this Abraham guy, right? Right, and he's had a hard time getting children. So he has a son. His name is Isaac, and God says to Abraham, "Hi, I just need to test whether you love me or not. So if you could just get your favorite son, put him on a slab and cut his heart open, sacrifice him." And Abraham is like, okay, but this goes over people's heads, you know. A lot of religions have a lot of horrible shit, right? So this was to test his faith, right? Correct. Thank you. So this guy's about to sacrifice his son, right? Abraham. So he has this knife and everything. And then God says, psych, well, I guess you love me. Don't bother with the sacrifice. Don't worry about that. We're good. We're good. And I'm like, what? Like when they were teaching this to me, even as a child, I was like, what the hell? What the hell is it that you're teaching me? Right? And then you got the New Testament, it says the son to die for people. And then you have this issue where, let me ask you something, Monty. If I was to impregnate some woman, and then I roll up on you and say, Monty, I've knocked up this woman, but you're going to be the father. You take over my responsibility. How would you react to that?
Are you saying that Joseph is a cuck? Speaking of Jesus, very quickly.
Oh my God! If I knocked up someone, but I told you, you're gonna be the father. You just take up my responsibility because you know.
Yeah,
I may have fucked up a few things with them when I did Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
I may have a bad reputation down there.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm gonna send you down there, and you're gonna take over the brand.
Yeah.
I reckon it was Zeus because finally he decided to have sex with a woman because he's gone through all the animal kingdom
stuff. I could sit down for hours with you guys. That needs to spill over to another show, right? Seriously, like I could sit down for hours with you guys. What is with this stuff? So he gets Joseph to take over the responsibility, but nobody credits Joseph with anything. When you talk about Christianity, they talk about Mary, they talk about Jesus. You ever heard Joseph in the mix? Oh, we really need to thank Joseph for raising Jesus. No, you do not. I just want to talk to these guys out there that are raising other people's children. You will not go down in history as a good guy. Okay?
Even though you've got a wonderful business as a carpenter and you're revered and everything else like that, but no,
he didn't even get one chapter in a book.
Correct. Like, can you imagine? I mean, he was just like this guy and he's doing his stuff, and God just rolls up on him and says, yeah, oh, by the way, you have a child. Yeah, you have a child, right? And it actually gets worse. If I remember and I recall all these Bible stories, there's some seriously twisted shit in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some seriously twisted shit.
Someone actually did the numbers count of deaths in the Bible, and just the Old Testament alone, I think Satan or the devil or whatever, Lou, killed 8 people. God, 2,455,363. So scoreboard. Like, yeah. I never understand. I fear God.
What about Jonah? The guy, Jonah. Now he's
he
walking
looks-
about his business, and God tells him, well, I need you to spread my good word. And Jonah says, yeah, I'm kind of busy. Can you check me later? Because I'm kind of busy. And God is like, oh, really? Go fishing. All right, go fishing. Yeah,
Have a day
you
off. Go
just
fishing. You'll be fine.
go fishing. Ends up in the stomach of a whale. Like, seriously? Like, for days, I don't know how he survived in the stomach of a whale for days, because it's a stomach after all, right?
Yeah.
But he gets swallowed up by a whale. And I'm like, if you piss God off, you're gonna get dealt with, okay? Seriously dealt with. And every religion has that in it. Let's look at even the Gita for those Hindus who think that they've escaped. I could go through every one of these religions.
All right, David,
Well,
let's hit the Hindus a second.
Okay. All right, so let me see if I get this straight. You have a guy whose cousins have stolen his land. Okay, it's called Arjun, the Gita. Okay, his cousins have stolen his land. So he starts a war with the cousins. Okay, but when he's on the battlefield and he's looking at his family members, he says to himself, you know, is it really worth it? It's just land, and these are my family members. I should probably stop the war. True story. Okay. And then Krishna appears into the chariot next to him and says, no. This land is your land. We're going to kill these bitches right now. Okay. We are going to kill these bitches right now. Okay. This is real story. This is some real stuff. We're going to kill them. And yeah, I'll be with you. I'll be in the chariot. Right. And then we could kill them and get back in time for that show. Right? We could get back for the Survivor series. It's not a problem. Right? So he gets into this chariot and he goes and he kills a bunch of his family members. And I'm like, but seriously, this guy had a conscience bang about killing his family members. God overrode his conscience bang about killing his family members. Are you serious? Are you really serious? Mm-hmm. Right? So that's, I don't even want to touch Islam because somebody is going to want to kill me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to touch it anyway.
Quick question. Krishna.
Allah is merciful. Allah is merciful.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me, Krishna. Go ahead.
Yeah. A question about Krishna. Is that Smurf Christ?
Oh, Jesus. You're going to Hindu hell as well as Christian hell, Monty. Right? Just because he's blue doesn't look. He's blue because he absorbed the sins of the world, okay? Right? And sins tend to make you blue. Besides, he's absorbing the sins of the world, and COVID is around. You're going to turn blue from not being able to breathe properly.
Yeah.
Regardless.
My other question is, do you think on Sunday when Jesus leaves his cave, he'll be arrested for breaking lockdown?
Yes, he will.
Yeah. I have risen. Not this year, buddy. Back in there. Come on.
Let's hit Islam next. Now, guys, I don't know where to start with this. Allah is merciful. Allah is merciful. I know some Muslim somewhere is going to want to be fundamentalist with me about this. So I'm going to just say this like this. Allah is merciful. Muhammad went on 65 different military campaigns in his lifetime. Just let that sink in. Just let it sink into the deepest part of your brain. He went on 65 military campaigns, right from Medina outwards. 65. You know what it's like to be in 65 different military conflicts? That means that you really are looking for trouble. There's no way. There's no way you could tell me that, oh, well, I got into 65 wars in my lifetime, but, you know, I'm a man of peace. Peace be upon
I love
him.
you.
Seriously?
Yeah, the religion of peace.
Campaigns. Yeah, 65. And let's get this straight. I don't care what the explanation is. It's in the hadith. If you take your youngest bride at 9 years old, I'm sorry, you're not a man of peace, and it's not merciful. I'm going to have to argue against this. I'm going to have to argue against this. because I understand that in our modern view of the thing, modern view of sexuality, under 13 or whatever else, under 14, 16 is pedophilia. And in that time, it was okay. But 9 is kind of stretching the imagination a bit much.
Even for back then.
It's stretching the imagination a bit much. But seriously, I can't get over the 65 military campaigns. But every Muslim says the following: Muhammad, peace be upon him. Well, you're going to have to say that because you want him to chill the fuck out, right?
Yeah, no, I was going to say,
no more military campaigns.
The last 15 centuries. Dude, chill. Just calm down. Put the sword down.
Peace be upon you. Seriously, we don't want to.
I want to live. I want to live. I want my family to live. I want everyone to live. You sick bastard. Yeah, this is why
Go ahead.
No, this is why I picked Jedi as a religion. It's got better merchandising.
And has more religions for you. I'm going to hit the people who believe that witchcraft is the religion for them. Hi there. Let's have a talk about that.
Oh, the Wicca, which isn't religion. That's an acronym for like the witches of North America or something. I can't remember what it is, but Wicca is an acronym of like it's like being part of a union.
Correct. It is. The word religion actually means to bind, right? That's actually a verb, to bind, right? So if you're really kinky and into that kind of thing, you're gonna be religious. Because let's face it, the most kinky people on earth come out of religions, right? You got people on the right wing in the US. These are priests and so on, have people tied up in their basement and all sorts of shit. Like seriously, like what goes wrong with religious people?
So you're saying with religion, do no harm unless you have permission.
Correct. The problem
and a safe word.
And the safety word is banana, by the way. Safety, or unless you're in the DC universe, it's Martha. But anyway.
Actually, I think the safety word should be Jesus Christ. But so you have that going on. You have I wanted to take a little piece of the people who are practicing earth religions, Wicca, and so on. Let me see if I get this straight. So, depending on what denomination of the craft you are, you're going to believe that in a natural universe, in a natural order. Problem. The natural order is kind of harsh. Okay? Everybody wants to be a nature buff. Look, Monty, please take them down to Australia and show them what nature really is. Okay?
Yeah. Everything wants to kill you.
The truth of nature is that it is survival of the fittest. Everything really wants to kill you. You're not going to lie down with the lions and the tigers and they will see the field of peace around you, right? And not want to cheer you to shreds. Okay, yeah, you're gonna walk. You're gonna walk up to the. Yes, correct. You're gonna walk up to the koala, and they're gonna take you out like anything else.
The koala has like an inch long claws basically, and they look so docile and cuddly. It's because they're high off the eucalyptus leaves. They're bent out of their gourd, and if they have to eat like 9 hours a day just to keep that addiction going and to get the sustainability. If they didn't, they would rip you apart. And very quickly as well, the boxing kangaroo, that's kind of a misnomer because they'll kick the living shit out of you because their arms are too small, but they go up on their tail and then rip you apart. Yeah, but everything will kill you here.
Yes. So if you really want to be one with nature, go to Australia. All right. We need to develop a little GoFundMe for people who want to be more with nature. We're going to drop them in the Australian outback. All right. And see what develops. You could do your rituals in the sand with the scorpions and every other shit in Australia that really wants you dead. Right. There are more things that can kill you in Australia than there are people. Okay. There are more species of things that can kill you in Australia.
And also, about 75% of it could be desert, but then we still have rainforests, normal forests. We've got extinct volcanoes, and earthquakes happen occasionally. But even trying to survive in the state I live in, Victoria, where it's full of trees and stuff, if you can defend yourself from all the animals, at some point a bushfire is going to go through, because the environment's used to doing that. Plants actually need fire to germinate and move forward and do all that stuff as well. And that's the fires that were at the start of the year. Remember back in those heady days of January when we're on fire? Mm-hmm. That seems so long ago. Something was going wrong with that, but because of the whole lockdown or shutdown that we're in, everything's thrown out there. Like, people are still trying to bring up climate change. It's like, yeah, we're stuck. Like, there's less pollution. It's like, yeah, because business is shut down. That's why there's not crap coming out. And I'm sure you will see these, and this would be a religion too, the environmentalists, not the people that work with nature, like shamans and people like us, is like, hug a tree. A woman did marry a tree, but they don't go out that much. They're going to start pushing this whole thing that we have to get rid of, like AOC with the new Green Deal. They're going to use this to actually prove that we can work with it, but we're not working with the planet. We've just stopped doing all the bad shit.
Exactly.
So
there's no joke there, sorry, but
so David, you got to hit the Buddhist next.
Oh my God. If I had to choose a religion, it would probably be the Buddhist, and I'll tell you why that is. That's the only religion that asks you to chill to fuck out. Okay? Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, chill out. But you would think that way until you heard about the killing fields. Go Google it, everybody. These were Buddhists that did that. Okay? Mm-hmm. These were Buddhists that did that. The Buddhists became serious killers. Okay? Right? It's always, it's like, why is it the most controlled and suppressed people, when they decide to go bad, they really go bad? It's kind of like convent girls.
Shell and monks and everything else like that.
Have you ever seen a woman come out of being a Quaker or Mennonites? What happens? Yeah. It's some wild shit, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Right? When Buddhists go bad, they really go bad. Yeah. I mean, like they're killing people in the worst way possible. Okay, so there's something to be said for a little bit of balance. You would like to chill out. You want self-development, but here's the thing about it. I want you you guys to think about it. Different people have different views when they become developed. It's not all one size fits all. It's not we're all going to become really soft-spoken, and I'm talking like this because I am so enlightened that my voice can project very far. It's not everybody does this. Some people become enlightened and they say, shit, I'm so enlightened right now. I can see that the Jews are a problem. I'm going to have to remove them. That's maybe somebody's enlightenment. Maybe somebody's enlightenment. Right? Because he thought he was enlightened, right? He did think he was enlightened. I mean, if you read his stuff, and I do read his stuff because I read it. He thought he was enlightened. The Jews are a problem. What if there were no Jews? Let me think. Oh, then our society could be pure and free. That's what there's a danger with enlightenment. It's like Christians, or whether it be Muslims and ISIS and so on. What if all the infidels just didn't exist? What should we do? I suppose we will have to embark on a killing campaign across the whole Arab
for the greater good. For the greater good, we have to do bad. We have to do bad things so the right thing.
You guys have to be careful with your belief system, because belief system acronym is just BS. BS. That's what it is. Belief system is BS. Keep revising it and so on, because every time you think you're enlightened, you are probably going to be causing some sort of problem for somebody else. I'm enlightened. I no longer have sex. Husband looks at you like, what? Well, that's a problem.
Wait. Deirdre, we need to have a chat.
Right? Husband looks at you like you're enlightened now, so you're not having sex. Oh, okay. Or somebody might say, I'm enlightened. I no longer eat meat. Look, I am a vegan. I do not suggest this for anyone out there. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't be vegan. I would be biting everything that moves. Okay? Right? And I mean, like insects, I mean, everything. I would be like, really, I'd be that guy on the meme with the bat soup, right? I'd be the start of this coronavirus. Okay?
Yeah. What's wrong with it? Yeah.
Right.
Well, it just like as you're describing religion, you remind me of Amway. If you remember Amway, it's very similar. We're like, oh, join us,
Pyramid
try this,
schemes.
join us. Yeah, exactly. It's not a pyramid; it's a trapezoid. Yeah, it's that's what I find interesting. Instead of like this, actually came up in one of the David Icke videos that you can still watch on a certain site. BitChute, if you want to look for it. He finally, after 2 hours of yelling, he got to the point where he's saying that everyone needs to, like, I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs, and we should revel in those, like, because they're different perceptions. The problem with where the conflict starts is when I start dictating my beliefs onto yours and trying to change you and vice versa. And so that's what I find. Like even Christianity, there's 30,000 different sects that think they're all right. I mean, I look at Ireland and slightly giggle because I'm sure Jesus said, love your neighbor. And it's still going on.
Dig this. Let me just answer comment there. No, I don't have mixed feelings about being a vegan. I'm a vegan, but I can certainly take the piss out of my own self because really and truly, being a vegan comes with certain kind of problems. I'll explain. For instance, when you get invited out to dinner, you know how many versions of salad I've eaten in my life? Because
lettuce, tomato,
because people didn't know what to do. Andrew, remember that that restaurant in Boulder that we went to?
Yes.
Right.
And David had mac and cheese for the first time in his life.
And I was like, the bomb, it's like mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese. And I'm like, oh, I've been depriving myself of mac and cheese. Right. So anyway, it may not be a big thing to you. You have to be able to take the piss out of yourself and you have to keep revising your belief system. So I revised this veganism thing. And I think about my life and so on. And the amount of times that I've been invited out where people just didn't know what to do with me. I should be the easiest person to feed, right? Because, if it's grass, I'm going to eat it. Okay? Yeah. Right? If it's grass, I'm going to eat it. I should be the easiest person to feed. But they're like, everybody's always worried about me. Like, what is David going to eat if we take him there? I'm like, just put together something. I'll be good. I'll be good. There are 2 million edible plants on the planet. There are a couple hundred edible animals. I have more things to eat than you do, theoretically, right? So people generally tend to get worried, and then they try to put together something that they think I would like, and it's hilarious. I always laugh at other vegans, and I'll tell you why. Because I'll give you this joke, actually. When I was in school, I had a roommate who looked at me and said, David, you're vegan, but you exercise, you lift weights, and you train and stuff. So I'm decided that I'm going to be vegan too. And I said to him, no, that's a bad idea. Don't try it. Don't try it. But he wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't listen to me. So this started on the weekend. By Wednesday, he was losing energy, right? Because he was from down south USA. That means that you're eating dead things every day. Okay, right? So he kept this veganism thing, and he had this will that he was going to persevere. On the next weekend, that was Saturday, he comes into my room and he says, David, you need to clean inside here. There's dust everywhere. There's dust everywhere. I'm looking at him and I'm smiling, right? And I'm like, there's no dust inside here. You're hallucinating. Your brain is getting fried. Get some freaking thing to eat. Go get some beef or something, right? He was literally seeing spots of dust everywhere. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try it, especially if your body's used to it, right? So that was funny thing. You need to be able to revise your belief system. I laugh at myself every day. This vegan thing, every time somebody shows me something new, it's funny. When people try to make things that you would like vegans who become vegan and they want to eat things that look like meat. Your mind still wants the meat. Just take the meat. So they go to the supermarket and they come out with these things that look like sausages and like chicken patties and stuff. And I'm like, damn, somebody went through a lot of trouble. You just want to be part of the group. Just eat the meat, man. Eat it. Right?
I've noticed that in supermarkets where you walk in and there's the health food aisle and it's all organic, which begs the question, what the fuck is everything else then?
Inorganic.
It's like this wants to be food when it grows up. But for me,
funny, Robert. Very funny, Robert.
I don't go to vegetarian or veganism because there's too much pressure and change, and you have to be militant and do 100%. All I've done is cut down eating meat, not 100%, but I still eat meat and I go with what I like. Because for me, the way I work, if the body says steak, I eat a steak. It doesn't mean I eat steak every day for 9 months. It's I just listen to the body in that respect. And so it makes sense. Like you could try veganism, but have beef on the side occasionally. Don't commit to going into it like that because of, as you said, the brain probably doesn't want to. And also if you've eaten meat for 35 years and all of a sudden it's like, I'm just going to eat tofu and the body's going to go, I hate you and I'm not going to work. So look, dust everywhere.
Correct. You know what? I started becoming vegetarian since the time I was like 13. My body's already adapted to it. My body's already adapted. I was in a TM center as well. So the mind and the body were cooperating back then. You could do anything as a child and get away with it. Right? Yeah. Then you come in as a 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old man and you want to stop eating meat. Okay. Right. And then you have the vegans who actually annoyed with a lot of vegans. And my veganism came as a result of not any belief system, no BS here. It came because I had an allergy to meat. My system wouldn't take it. It doesn't like it. It gets rid of it. So a lot of people have started to say, well, David is vegan. David is vegan because David doesn't have a choice. It also doesn't help that part of my ancestry is actually Caribbean Indian. And for those of you who don't know what Caribbean Indian is, they ate people. So I'm pretty much probably very afraid that I might, eat some meat and then look at all of you guys like food. Right? Right?
This steak is awesome. I'm going to try the cook. Come here. Stop running.
David is a friend of the long pig. Human. Anyways, there is a journey to being a vegan, which is knowing the food calculator, the vegan calculator, the amount of protein you're getting versus the amount of calories burned. And there are a lot of very uneducated vegans who rapidly become anemic and are on the verge of dying all the time.
And this is very true.
Dark circles under their eyes, no muscle on their body, but God damn it, they're going to stay vegan until they're dead.
Yeah. Look, I became vegan. Your body needs at least a deck of cards size worth of protein a day, right? When I became vegan, I was very young, so my body tolerated it quite a bit. There was a stage where I needed to actually learn. But then I became vegan when I was around people who were vegan and knew what to do. After that, I went and did nutrition, right? To understand what my body needed. I also understood that my body needed a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of this, a certain amount of that, and I balanced my diet. The problem came when it is that you are vegan and you trying to interact with the rest of the world. They can't understand you. You have to understand that you're the one who made the different choice. Yeah? You're the
Yeah.
one who made a different choice.
They're the
So
black sheep.
they're not the problem. You're the problem.
Right.
And accept it. Accept it. You're the problem in that situation. You're not a problem. You are the problem in terms of the interaction between you and these people. Let me just clear that up. So when it is that you go to their house and they're like, I don't know what to feed you. I'm like, what do gorillas eat? Feed me something that looks like that and we're good. Okay? All right, and we're good. Don't, and for those,
gorillas do eat. They eat other animals quite often, actually. Bad choice. I got a side note. One of my brothers brought home her girlfriend for Easter, and she's a vegetarian. And my grandmother said, "You have to eat this lamb. It's vegetarian. It's grass-fed."
Well, that makes sense.
It was a grass-fed lamb, therefore good for vegetarianism.
That's hilarious.
All right, everyone. We're going on 2.5 hours. Let's call it a show. Any last words you guys want to have?
Vote banana.
Vote banana.
Yeah. I don't know what at. Just
definitely.
Vote banana. All right, you guys want to give ways for people to get a hold of you?
I think it might be. Sure. You can email me at info@unifiedhealthsystems.com or david@caribinfinity.net, and we are good. Monty?
I'm on Instagram as monty.dean, on Twitter as @realmontydean, and I have my YouTube channel, which is Wafer Thin Entertainment. And I've got Facebook as just Monty Dean as well. Like, I see by doing these shows, all these people that turn up and like, oh, okay. So,
and you guys know who I am. Go to my YouTube page, my Facebook page, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this video around. We will be back in 2 weeks with another comedy show. We're going to be doing it every other Friday for the rest of quarantine. And if you guys get enough thousands of shares, we will start every Friday comedy night. Balls in your court. Have a great night.
Bye.